Power yoga continued. So we were back in our chair pose. Have a seat into that chair, pressing the heels down and out. We're gonna cross left foot over right, coming back into our single leg chair here. So have a seat into the space, breathe. And then stand tall out of the right foot, knee is in line with hip. I'm gonna sweep it back, coming into my warrior three. Draw the shoulder blades together, spread your fingers, a little lift. Coming into those curtsy squats on this side. So squeeze the inner thighs, pull the heel into your glute, press the floor away, come right back up. For two, come right back up. And one, come right back up. Tap the big toe down, press the heel and lift. Two, and one. Stand right up, and sweep back, warrior three. Two more, come on up, and back. One more, come up, take it back, land for your crescent lunge, inhaling, in through your nose. Out through your nose, two more big breaths. And bring your hands down inside of this right foot. Your option is to hold your lizard pose, or we're gonna walk the hands back. Create that shelf. Bend the elbows. Extend through that right leg. You might float that back foot. And then we're gonna see if we can vinyasa back. We'll meet in down dog. Good job, guys. So bending your knees, look to the top of your mat. One more little playful hop step or float as you inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, chair. And let's come on down. You can move through a toe balance, or you can just come on down and have a seat. If you want as a play with your side crow here, we could do that on each side. So I'll give you the option to hold this toe balance and breathe for 5 breaths, or let's take our side crow. So a couple options for you. We can take this left hand across, and the right hand comes in. So if you can see, my hands are kind of like in an L shape. I'm going to use this right elbow underneath my hip as I come into my chaturanga arms. Squeeze inner thighs, spread your toes, hold for a couple breaths. If you don't need the kickstand of that right arm, we'll take our arms more into a parallel shape. But if you know that, you don't need the variation, and you can just come on straight through there. So coming back into our toe balance from that side crow. If you're still in your toe balance, breathe. I know it's really good for your feet though. We'll go the other way. So if we weren't in that kickstand variation, the hands would come out more like this, parallel, and I would still take my chaturanga arm, so I'm still squeezing that left elbow in. I'm going to tip, squeeze those inner thighs, spread your toes, lift the chest for 3, 2, and 1. Come center, have a seat. If you have a block available, grab it. If you don't have one, you could grab a play ball, anything that's around, a pillow. You don't really need one necessarily either though. So what we're gonna work is kind of this running man, but with a block. So I'm gonna get my low back pressing into the floor. I wanna take that block, and I'm gonna get my elbows and my knees. So my feet are in tabletop, my forearms are parallel to the ceiling. So from here, if we don't have the block, you could do the same thing here. Just try to keep crunching that. So I'm gonna take right arm, left leg out. Squeeze that block and come in. So if you don't have the block, it just looks like this. Keep the back engaged, pressing down, the core pulling in. If you have your block, you're here. We reach, pull in, hollow through your belly. Switch, reach, and pull in. 2 more on each side. Reach, pull in, reach, pull in. 1 more, reach, pull in, last time, reach, pull in, squeeze that block, crunch up for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice job. Grabbing the backs of your legs, rock and roll, head to tail a couple of times, and then come up having a seat. So for today's inversion in our practice, before we head into some back bends, I just want to play with either holding your handstand or maybe kicking to the wall. If you don't have an option for a wall near you and you're not comfortable working that, I'm going to give you the option of maybe holding dolphin pose and breathing today. So dolphin pose, we would be here, starting in like a forearm plank, kind of set up with the upper body, and we could just work here. Most of us have wall space available. If you're uncomfortable kicking to your wall though, and you'd rather do like an L hold, I'm gonna sit on the edge of my wall. My heels, if you can't see, are pressing into the floorboard. I'm gonna take my hands right by my hips, and that's where I want my hands to be. So I'm gonna watch where this left hand is while I turn. I'm gonna plant my palms, and this is the distance I wanna be from the wall. So my feet go hip height, and I'm gonna press on out. And I'll hold there and I'll breathe. If you'd like to play more than that, let's turn to the wall. And so we're just gonna practice our straight handstand, or maybe a corkscrew variation today. So walking the feet in a little, the closer your down dog is, the harder it is. So if we need to take a longer stance, that's fine too. I kick with my right leg, so I'm gonna step my left foot in. I'm gonna shift the weight into my palms, take a little micro bend. Inhale, I lift, and I might bring that left knee in. And so play with that a couple times on each side. We lift and in. If it just looks like this today, that's awesome. Half the hardest part is trusting yourself and getting those feet off the floor. So do it a couple times on each side. If you find some hang time, hold, play with that. Taking one more big shot at it. Hands come on down, child's pose. As you inhale, coming up. Looking down at your knees, we want to take them about hip distance. Root through the feet, or maybe tuck the toes under for this first round of our camel. Today, we're going to reach up with that left arm, take your right hand to your low back, and just start to engage the inner thighs, press the knees down, open to the chest. If we can take our right hand to our heel and continue to press those hips forward, we can come here into this half variation. Deep breaths, only going to where we can breathe for 3, 2, inhale, chin to chest as you come up. Take that left hand back, switch. Inhale brings you up. Exhale, tuck your toes. Lift your hips down, dog. Pedal it out, wiggle it out after that. Taking your left heel to sky. As you exhale, bring that knee into your tricep and figure 4 that leg across, like you're gonna go into pigeon pose, but you're not gonna land it yet. So holding here for 3. Pull everything up and in for 2. And 1, land. Use those right toes to help you slide your hips back. If you need a block or pillow, pop it under there now. Sit nice and tall. And if you want to play with any variations today, feel free. So let's just start by reaching back and grabbing that right foot. So I'm gonna pull the heel in toward my butt. I might even be able to hook the elbow into my, or hook the toes into my elbow, starting the beginnings of my mermaid. From there, I could take my fingertips and hook, and then maybe take that elbow overhead for full mermaid, or I could just begin to get the balance of it here. Wherever you are, soften your face. Enjoy a few deep breaths. If you've got a hold of that back leg, we're going to gently release, shift off into that left hip, and come around into half boat. So I'm sitting tall out of my sits bones. I'm going to take this heel, I'm going to tap, lift. 3, 2, 1. Cross that leg over. So coming into a half lotus, or if you can take full lotus and you'd like to, we could do full lotus as well. If you have blocks, you could bring them in. I'm going to do the version without blocks today in case you don't have them at home. But if I had blocks, I would use them, bringing them in onto my mat. Just mid-thigh, or maybe a little more, so I can lift up. If your legs don't lift up, don't worry about it. Just try to get your butt off the floor for me. And so I'm going to shift. I'm going to lift. Breathe. 3, 2, and release. Let's take it the other way. So uncross those legs. Pull the knees in. Come forward. You can hop, step, or vinyasa back. And we'll meet in down dog when you're ready. As you inhale, take the right heel to sky. As you exhale, bring it in like you're gonna land for pigeon, but don't. Hold it up, hug it in. 3, 2, and land. Take your time, sliding back. Sit nice and tall, breathe. And then if we played with mermaid on one side, we'll keep it even on this side. So reaching back, find that left foot. Begin to slowly draw the heel in. From there, I will crawl the toes into my elbow as best I can. Try to square back off to the front. I might hook the fingers. I might take it overhead for full mermaid. Really lifting through the chest though, breathing. For 3, 2, and gently release. Shifting into that right hip, draw that left leg around for half boat, adjust, remove any flesh from your sits bones, sit nice and tall, tap the heel, lift, tap, lift, 3, 2, and 1, up and hold. Cross that leg over for your half lotus. Bring your blocks in if you've got them. We're gonna shift and lift our butt. Breathe here. 3, 2, and 1. Gently release. So here's where you're gonna kind of choose your adventure for our final couple minutes of class. I'm gonna have you either come into supported shoulder stand, so you could take a block, you could take a pillow, whatever you have underneath the sacrum. The legs come up into this waterfall kind of shape. If you want more than that and you practice shoulder stand, you could come into shoulder stand. So I would just flip myself off that block. Really try to make sure the toes are over the hips though. So if they look like this, they're like, woo, way out in front of your face, take them back. Lots of core engagement and reach through those toes. So that would be an option. If you're near your wall and you just want to simply go legs up your wall, that's a great choice. Just getting an inversion in today, a longer inversion. If you have a headstand practice and you'd like to go into headstand, we could do that as well. So all options on the table. If you're just ready to lay down to head towards your Shavasana, that's fine too. But so, let's do it. I'm gonna take a headstand variation myself today. And so as you're ready, we'll meet in our inversion. When you're ready, come on up. Steady your gaze and breathe. When you're personally ready, if you're in that headstand, we'll come down into child's pose. If you're on your block or in shoulder stand, you can lower down, slow. And then gently pressing in. For our Shavasana today, I want to utilize our blocks if we have them. If you don't have blocks, again, pillows, whatever you got. If you got one of those foam rollers, you could even use a foam roller. Setting up for supported fish. So make it a nice comfy place for you, just to have a nice heart opener before we end class. And so I'm going to set mine up today vertically. It's going to go right about just beneath my bra strap. As I lay back, I'm going to utilize my other one as my pillow. Crossing your legs or take them long, really any variation that feels good in your feet at this point. Taking one hand over your heart space and one hand over your solar plexus or kind of lower ribs. For these first few breaths, I just want you to feel your heartbeat, feel your breath. We'll let the palms fall next to us, gently resting open, allowing the shoulder line to open up a little more. Just taking full expansive breaths in, allowing your heart to open. Letting go of any anxiety or stress. Just begin to feel an expansiveness. So if you're feeling cooped up in your home right now, start to tap into that oneness with the universe, right? We are expansive, whole beings. Feeling cared for, knowing that as long as you trust and you stay open, you will always be provided for. Feel free to stay in that shape for as long as you personally need today. I hope this practice has brought you a little bit of that fire I love so much. Feel that, keep that within you, but also a little bit of that exhale, that releasing of that energy. I love you, friends. I will see you soon, hopefully. Namaste.